today we have the amazing letter Kaf. Everybody say Kaf. And I'm hoping that you're seeing it. Whoops. There we go. I'm not seeing it. There we go. This is the 11th letter of the alphabet, and it represents the number 20. So now we're going to see multiples of 10 as we go through the alphabet from here on out until we get to 100. So Kaf represents what number? 20. Okay, here's a picture of the ancient letter Kaf with the same numeric value. And this Kaf symbolizes an open hand, which is our deeds or our work. And work is a very important aspect of the Kaf. So let's move on here. You'll see that that ancient letter Kaf looks like a hand that is open. And last week we looked at the letter Yud, which was a hand that is closed. Yud means mind, and the open hand in the ancient Hebrew represents fingers, and it represents productive labor and symbolizes the crowning achievement. So that's what we want to think about when we think about Kaf. Next one is, so here we see Kaf is a word, and you see the word in red letters, Kaf, meaning palm or wing. It's a picture of a hand, an open hand or a wing. It's the number 20, and the symbolic meaning is what? Work. Ephesians 2:10 says, we are his workmanship or handiwork, created in Messiah Yeshua for good works, which God hath before ordained that we should walk in them. Notice, we're supposed to be working. And here we have a picture of a potter. And who's the potter? Yeshua is the potter, we are the clay. John 14:12 says, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believes on me, the works that I do, he shall do also, and greater than these shall he do. So our works are important. And here we have a picture of the crown for a king, and we see the word king there, which is melech. Can y'all see that word? It didn't go? Okay, there we go. Now you see the picture of a crown with the word king above it, and that word is melech. Everybody say melech. Okay. When you put a kaf in front of the word melech, that kaf means to be like or as. So if you put the kaf in front of melech, it is like or as a king. Then down at the bottom you see another word that begins with the letter kaf, and it is a Hebrew word that means crown, and it's keter. So we're going to look at this crown. That's back there, okay. If you take the ancient picture meaning of each of those letters, you have Kaf is the hand, Tav is the covenant, represented by Torah, and Resh is the head. So in the word for crown, we see the hand of the Lord placing the crown of Torah upon your head. Pretty amazing picture. Then we're going to see that there were 3 vessels in the tabernacle that had crowns. And if you'll notice on those pictures, I hope you can see the detail, the little peaks that go around the molded gold. They're beautiful. Every one of them looks like a crown. In Exodus 25:10 and on, the Ark of the Covenant refers to the crown of Torah. Exodus 25 refers to the table of showbread, which is the crown of kingship. Remember, David ate the showbread. Exodus 30 is the altar of incense, and it refers to the crown of priesthood. The priests were offering the incense. Now let's see something amazing. This is all connected to the New Testament and to us. It is said that those who study and observe Torah with sincerity, God will present the crown of the Torah. Revelation 1:6 says, and he has made us kings and priests to God and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Are we wearing those crowns? Because he has made us kings and priests. Now we're going to see. So there's the crown of Torah, there's the crown of kingship, and there is the crown of the priesthood. Now, look at this in the New Testament. James 1:12 says, blessed is the man that endures temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him. And Exodus 26, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love him and keep my commandments. The crown of life is known as the crown of Torah. Deuteronomy 32 says, and he said unto them, set your hearts unto all the words which I testify among you this day, which ye shall command your children to observe, to do the works of this law. For it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life. So there we have Torah as the crown of life. Then we see the crown of glory in 1 Peter 5:4. And when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fades not away. The crown of glory is the crown of the king. Isaiah 62:3 says, you shall also be a crown of glory in the hand of the Lord, and a royal diadem in the hand of thy God. So the crown of glory we are to be wearing. Then in 2 Timothy it says, henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not me only, but unto all of them that love his appearing. Are we all going to get that one? Yes. The crown of righteousness is the crown of the priesthood. Psalm 132:9, let the priests be clothed with righteousness, and let thy saints shout for joy. Without Torah, you cannot function as a priest or a king. And we get all of those amazing crowns, the keter, as you see in the New Testament. So that's something to really love. All right, let's move over to the board. And we're going to look at Kaf now. Kaf makes two sounds. Remember, bait makes two sounds. It made b when it had the dot, and it made v when it didn't have the dot. And Kaf is similar to that. Kaf says k, like in king. Everybody say it, k. Or it says ch when it doesn't have the dot. Okay, so it's k with the dot and ch without the dot. Everybody got that? All right. Then you'll notice that the Kaf comes right after the letter Yud. Remember last week we did Yud, and the Yud was a closed fist, and it meant mine when it was at the end of a word. And the Kaf also will come at the end of the word, you're going to see in a minute, but it's an open hand, and so it's for you. It's open for you or closed for me or mine, okay? So the Yud is closed, the Kaf is open. The Kaf, but both hands are meant for work. And that's the thing we want to hold on to. We are to be working. We aren't just to be receiving, we're to be giving. That Kaf is an open hand. Kaf looks a lot like a bait. And both Kaf and bait are for work. They're both relating to construction of some kind. How do we show that we're busy being workers? Well, for one thing, we should be loving one another. And a lot of times we love one another by the things we do for one another. So let's keep that in mind. Okay, so when you're reading, I just want you to notice that Kaf is curved and the bait is straight lines, okay? That's important to see. So notice the curved lines and the straight lines of Kaf and bait, because when you're reading along, they can look a lot alike. Okay. When kaf is prefixed to the beginning of a word, here we have the word melech, which is king, and here we have the word k-melech. So when we attach it to the front of a word, it's going to be like a king. Okay? It's not going to be a whole different separate word. They all become one word. What were some other letters that we attached to the beginning of words? Remember, we attached the hey to the beginning of a word, and it means the, whatever it's attached to. When you attach a bait to the beginning of a word, it means in. So it could be ha bite in, or the house, or it could be b bite in the house. All right, so we have 3 letters now that we know we can attach to the beginning of a word, and they have a specific meaning. All right. Now, kaf is the first letter that also has a final form. In English, we have a capital and a lowercase for every single letter in the alphabet, right? But in Hebrew, we have only 5 letters that have 2 forms. Kaf is the first one. So we have this kaf that looks kind of like a C, and this one will appear anywhere in the word unless it's the last letter. If it's the very last letter of a word, it's going to take this form. And you just begin to write it like this, but instead of curving up, you just straighten out that bottom part. So this is called the final form, or technically it's called the Sophite form. It doesn't matter. It's the final form. All right, so here is an example of how that would work. Here's the word chesed, and that means loving kindness. But if you have a kaf at the end of the same word, chesed, though the vowel points changed, it's still the same word, you'd have chasadecha. And that ka, this is loving kindness. Now this means your loving kindness. Okay? Remember, yud is mine, kaf is yours. So if you see that kaf at the end of a word like this, it's going to mean your. Everybody understand that? Okay, good. All right, let's do some reading with this letter. Everybody remember the vowel points? Let's just review a little bit before we even try to read these words. Remember what this dot under a letter is going to say? E. This, when it's 2 dots on top of each other, it's just the sound of the letter above it. No change of any kind. A single line is ah. The line that looks like a T is ah. 2 dots is a, ah. What's the dot above? O. Excellent. And one of these words right here, got a little smudged. You're going to see, I don't know. We'll just do this. Okay, these 2 are going to work together. So you're going to say k, vo, and these 2 are going to work together. Da. All right, because the hey at the end is going to be silent. But we'll get to that last. Okay, so let's start here. He, I didn't teach you how to write them. Do you want to practice writing them? All right, let's practice. Okay, so the kaf is just a single stroke. You're going to start slightly below the line, curve up, and curve down. And it's just like a C. Okay? So just, again, curve up, curve down. And then the final kaf is the exact same formation. You curve up and down, but instead of coming back around, you just come down straight. So you curve up and down and come down straight. Okay, and that's how you write the kaf. And how many forms does kaf have? 2. When it's at the end, what does it mean? Yours. Excellent. When it's at the beginning, what's it mean? Like or as. Let me write it for you. Like or as. And when it's at the end, it's yours or you. Okay? All right, so let's read these words. This first word means to afflict, and it's the hey, so it's heek, hika. Everybody got that? Hika. All right, and that means to afflict. The next word, it's the k sound, so it's going to be kaved, kaved, and that means heavy. The next one is the same letters with slightly different vowel points, and it's going to be koved, and that means heaviness. Okay, the next one, this one means priest, so it's kohen. This is a final noon. I just put that little N there so you could see the sound that that makes. Kohen is priest, and kavuda is baggage. Kavuda, baggage. And that is our amazing cough. So, hope you enjoyed the class. Thanks for being here.